I'm Kendra, and here at HappenstancePlace, life is homemade. So today, I'm going to show you how I make my easy, no-boil lasagna. Because I love lasagna, and so does the rest of my family, but lasagna used to scare me because boiling the noodles and pulling them out and all the rigmarole that is, it's just a whole lot of work and a whole lot of me burning my fingers, and then the noodles always get stuck together anyways. So I'm going to show you how I make my sauce and then layer everything together to make a tasty lasagna dinner. So first what I'm going to do is grab my ground beef out of the microwave, which I've been defrosting it in there, and I'm just going to put it in my cast iron skillet and start browning that up. Just going to let that hang out. I'm going to throw a lid on it so it cooks a little bit faster for me. Also, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to slide my handle cover on so I don't burn my hand at some point. And I don't always include onion, but I have some on hand right now, so I'm gonna chop that up and brown it up with my hamburger. Now I'm gonna go and I'm gonna gather my diced tomatoes that are gonna go in here, and also my mozzarella cheese and my grater so I can grate that up, and get my cottage cheese and egg ready. This is a quart of our home canned diced tomatoes. I'm gonna just pour that in here with our beef and our onions. A quart is basically just 4 cups. So if you are going to be getting commercially canned, you're looking for a quart or 4 cups of tomatoes. I like diced tomatoes because I actually want the juiciness. I want this whole thing to be super, like, soupy, because that is what's going to hydrate our noodles while it cooks. So I'm just giving everything a little stir, and then I'm going to add some seasonings. I'm going to add some basil, and oregano, and rosemary that we dried from our garden, and a little bit of salt, pepper, and sugar. The sugar helps to bring a freshness to the canned tomatoes. Even with commercially canned tomatoes, I recommend just a pinch or 2, at least, of sugar to help bring out a freshness, and it cuts a bit of the acidity in the canned tomato. Now that everything for our sauce is combined, I'm just going to let that hang out and simmer. And throw a lid on it. I'm going to turn the heat down to, like, just a simmer. Let that hang out while I grate the mozzarella cheese, and then I'm going to take about half a carton of cottage cheese, and I'm going to mix it together with an egg. That'll help bind all of our layers together and make everything taste delicious. So I have my sauce all simmered. I mixed my cottage cheese, half a carton, with 1 egg, and I grated up my block of Parmesan cheese. I've also gotten out my lasagna noodles. My preference is to use whole wheat lasagna noodles. We order those special order from our local, like, natural food store, but we have kind of a mix of that, and I have some white noodles left over from a big family meal that I made a little while ago. So what I'm going to do is start by putting a little bit of the sauce in the bottom, just to kind of keep things from sticking. And I actually like it if there's a few chunks of meat too, because it keeps everything from, like, suctioning to the bottom. There's no need to spray your pan, just make sure that things are lifted up a bit. And then we're just gonna layer noodles. See what we got. I've got the ends of a bunch of my noodles, so I just go ahead. I like to use a metal pie pan. I do prefer metal to using glass when it comes to this. And I just make them fit. I usually do 4 across and then 2 the short way, or I just kind of piece together kind of to cover the layer, then you just kind of alternate what you're gonna put. So I'm gonna put a little bit of sauce on here just to kind of get everything feeling a little sloppy. And you want a little bit of everything in every bite. I also have my oven preheating right now. I'm preheating it to 375. Once I get everything, you know, kind of put in here in a way that makes me happy, I'm gonna throw it in the oven. I'm gonna cook it for somewhere between 35 and 50 minutes. You'll know when it's done because it will start to brown and it'll be all bubbly and delicious looking. If it looks like you're ready to eat it, yeah, probably are, because your sauce is already cooked. The egg will cook in your cheese pretty quickly, and you don't have to worry. There's not really anything that's raw other than the egg and the cheese, and it will cook up pretty fast. So you're just looking for everything to get heated through and get all bubbly and delicious. So I'm putting a layer of the cheese in, and then I'm going to put, so I put noodles, sauce, cheese. I'm gonna put some more noodles. We'll just dump these out because they are just kind of a mess, but that's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. It'll still be delicious. And the important part is that your sauce be pretty saucy because the moisture in it is what's actually gonna hydrate your noodles while they're cooking. I have on occasion made a sauce that seemed so dry that I either poured a little extra tomato juice over the top or even just a little bit of water, like, I don't know, half, 2/3 of a cup of water if I felt like it wasn't going to get moist enough. Now I'm gonna spread my cottage cheese layer. You can also use ricotta cheese. I just tend to have cottage cheese on hand, so that's what we're using. And you just kind of spread that over everything. And then I put another layer of noodles on top of the cheese. And we'll see, I might not have quite enough, so I'm just going to kind of spread what I have out over the top. I thought my noodles were gonna get me a little bit further than they did, but that's okay. It'll still be tasty. It probably just means we'll eat just a little bit more. Get all those little bits because they will puff up to be noodly. Okay, I got that all spread out. I'm just going to layer the sauce on the top. And you're gonna wanna end your lasagna with a layer of sauce and then a layer of cheese. You're gonna want the cheese in the very top layer so that it gets all brown and bubbly. But you're gonna want sauce on top of your final layer of noodles because since your noodles have not been hydrated, you are going to want the sauce to do that work. So we're just gonna spread everything out. And like you see, I'm just pouring the rest of the juicy bits over the top. You do want to make sure that in your oven, you put a baking sheet underneath your lasagna pan, like on the rack below it, in case it boils over. It makes a huge mess. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know when I've done it more than once, yeah. See, but I learned my lesson, at least today. So, we're gonna just finish by putting the rest of the mozzarella on here. You can also use Parmesan mixed in, or Romano, or whatever you have. We just happen to have mozzarella. And I'm gonna go ahead and put some foil over the top of this. It's gonna help steam the noodles. You're gonna cook it with the foil on till about the last 10 or 15 minutes of cooking. Then you take the foil off, and that'll help your top get a little bit crunchy, but without it burning. So I'm gonna grab the foil. And I'm gonna use hot pads when I put this in the oven because since everything has already been heated, this pan is already pretty hot. So there you go, it's in the oven, foil on, cookie sheet underneath it. It's gonna cook at 375 for somewhere between 35 and 50 minutes. I'm going to set my timer for 30. At that point, I will pull the foil off and then I'll go from there. And I will let you see what it looks like in the end. And here is our finished lasagna. So my alarm, I set the timer for 30 minutes and then I took the foil off and then I put it in for another 15. And that's the yumminess. So I'm gonna serve it up here in just a minute and then we shall enjoy it. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more of what goes on around here at Happenstance Place, you can subscribe down below where I daily vlog and do other assorted videos as they strike me as necessary. And every Monday, Wednesday, Friday in February, there should be a Feed Your Face February video up sometime in the evening. Thanks for watching. Bye.